All right, y'all, welcome back to Correctional Officer Stories with Steve, all my COS squad. I just want to make this video real quick. I got some things to go do. So, still a lot of positive feedback, like I've been saying. Keep it coming, keep the subs coming, keep it up. Let's just keep going and see how far we can get, peeps. I've been asked by quite a few people to talk about the testing process for corrections, like the physical, the psych eval. So I'm just going to quickly go over that. When you go into corrections in the state of Arizona, the first thing you're going to do is a testing day. So that testing day is going to consist of a 60-question written exam. I think you can miss you got to get a 70%. And it's really like a 68%, but you got to get a 70%. They round it up. You got to do that. And I know this because I used to do the testing for corrections, as I've said in some other videos. So 60-question test. Right after you do that, they put you in a group for the physical fitness test. So when I was there, you had to do 6 setups, 16 push-ups, and a mile run in 15 minutes. It used to be a 1.5 mile run, 19 push-ups, and something like 26 setups. So it's completely changed. If you're coming back into corrections and you were a correctional officer before, it's a 17-minute mile for new correctional officers. 17-minute mile, 16 setups, 6 push-ups. If somebody's watching this and it's changed, correct me if I'm wrong. And if you're a correctional officer and you're coming back in, trying to get back in, it's 15-minute mile, 4 push-ups, and like 12 setups, I think, or 10. Anyway, it's not tough. Then you do a psychological evaluation, and this is all on the same day. So prepare for a full day. It's going to be a long day. You're going to go out to one of the facilities. They do it out at Lewis. They test out at Iman. They test all over the state. So wherever your correctional facility you're going to is where you're going to be closest to. That's where you go test. The psychological evaluation is 2 parts. There's a red and a blue test. It's about 790 questions total. I think it used to be about 1,200. And you do have to pass that. If you do not pass it and they deem, you'll either have to see a psychologist or you just completely fell out of it. If you see the psychologist, they'll probably have you retake part of the psych eval. If you still don't pass it, you're DQ'd for a year. You can retest in a year. Once you do all that and you're good and you pass the testing day, you pass the written, the physical, and the psych eval, they'll send you some information and they'll get you scheduled for your medical test, where they'll test like your blood pressure, they'll test your eyesight, they'll draw your blood, they'll take your urine for testing for different creatinine levels and stuff like that. That day is not the drug test. So if you're going to test for us, make certain you're not asking to get your UA done, because it is a disqualification. Your UA will come down the road. And you can't have any kind of nothing in your system. You can't have Percocet, any kind of opiates, any kind of benzodiazepines, which is like a Xanax, an anti-anxiety medication, because it's a safety-sensitive position. And even if you have a prescription from a doctor, it does not matter. You will fail that UA and they will put you on a deferral for a year. You will be deferred for a year until that substance is out of your system. Same thing with marijuana. Just because you have a marijuana card does not mean you can come be a correctional officer. Just think about it. Does that make sense anyway? Probably not. The reason being is because you're going to be carrying a weapon. You're going to be operating a weapon on the range. You're going to be operating a vehicle with inmates in it. You can't be in a safety-sensitive position and be under the influence of any kind of narcotic, any kind of drug that has any kind of anything that you can think of that is a narcotic, a scheduled class 1 through 5 drug. You are not going to pass that test. And if you're a corrections officer now and you're taking something like that, they do randoms. It comes up, I believe they put you in a 30-day post to get that out of your system. And if you fail again, I believe you're terminated. That's just, it might be different. That's how it used to be. Getting back to the process, once you get through that medical physical, they call you for your UA, like I said. You pass that UA, they call you and they say, congratulations, we've hired you. These are the academy dates we have for COTA, for the Correctional Officer Training Academy. Can you attend it? They're not going to ask you. They're just going to give you a date to attend. Sorry, I keep scratching my leg, man. I got some bites. So once you get down to COTA, it's a 7-week training academy, Monday through Friday. So you can go home Friday afternoon. You got to return back on Sunday before 10 p.m. Basically, it's Monday through Friday. You're going to be doing physical fitness. You're going to be doing a lot of classroom work. You have to take a test every Friday. You have to pass that test. If you don't, you have to retake it. I think you can fail 3, and then you're out. They're not tough. The answers will be given to you pretty much during the week. They'll say something like, remember what I just said, write that down. It's going to be on your test. So as long as you study and you go to study groups at night, you'll be fine. You'll pass a test. It's teaching you about the laws of corrections inside the facility, things about inmates, inmate manipulation. You'll have 1 week will be a range week where you're qualifying with the Glock 9 and a shotgun. You will get CS gassed on the range, and then you will get OC sprayed the last week of the academy, which usually is on a Monday. That might have changed, but I'm pretty sure it's still the same. Somebody, if you're just been through the academy, message me and correct me if I'm wrong. But it is 7 weeks. You do graduate on a Friday, so that 7th week you'll graduate on that Friday. You'll get the weekend off, and then you will go to your facility that you picked that following Monday. And when I left, there was an OJT program, on the job training. So it's basically an FTO, field training. You're assigned to a field training officer for 21 days, and then you hit the shift that you're going to go to. So kind of getting back to that academy, it's not that tough. The physical fitness you will run. You will also have a self-defense week. When I was in it, we got our ass beat. They've taken all that away. You're going to still do the self-defense, but you're not going to be tossing your partner around. They used to do pressure points where I remember I got hit right smack dab in the neck. You got a nasty pressure point here in your neck, and they hit you with their forearm. You also have here, there's a bunch, but I remember I got crushed by the instructor, and I feel like I was going to break my neck, and I feel like I was going to smash him. So they don't do that anymore. It's caused way too many injuries. It hurts way too many cadets. They stopped all that. So don't trip on that self-defense week. That's week 4. Range week is week 6. You graduate week 7. Weeks 1, 2, 3, and 5 are basically physical fitness. You learn restraints, how to apply restraints on an inmate, and then you go through scenarios. It's not really, enjoy the academy. Enjoy it, because once you get to the facility, it gets real. And that's where shit turns. You're either going to like it or you're not. So remember, enjoy the academy. Your meals are paid for at the academy. You get breakfast. You get breakfast and lunch, and then dinner, except for Fridays. You don't get dinner on Fridays. That might have changed too, but I'm pretty sure it's still the same. You march. It's almost like it's a paramilitary academy, though. You do march everywhere you go, and your first couple weeks you have to earn your flag. So they'll pick a guide on, the guy that carries the guide on with your class flag on it. You got to earn that. You got to keep your barracks squared away. You got to keep your beds made. So it is pretty paramilitary. You march everywhere you go. You double time it everywhere you go. And then once you start getting into the latter weeks, that double time starts to stop, and then the baby classes start to come in, and you get ready to graduate. You make class shirts. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty good experience. It teaches you a lot. Teaches you some discipline, but it's not ball busting, break your face. It's tough, but it's not crazy. There are some other academies like the Tactical Support Unit Academy that's super tough. They sleep deprive you, but that's all stuff you can do once you get out to the facility. You get your year under your belt, and then you're going to start applying for some of those specialty positions. You do have to wait 2 years to start promoting to sergeant, or if you're going to go the Correctional Officer Series, which is CO3 and above, you do have to wait 2 years. But you can start applying for the Tactical Support Unit, K9, and stuff like that after a year. And you will have to do a test for them too. They'll do a physical fitness. I don't think they do a written test, but they do a physical fitness. There are tryouts. They do pick, and then they shoot you to the academy. So it's pretty cool. We do have a 9-week K9 academy. So it's basically just like a police department. There's a lot of different things within corrections that pretty much copy the police department and a lot of it's a paramilitary. You hand salute. When you go to a funeral, it's totally squared away. If you're in uniform, they yell, all uniform personnel and salute. So it's pretty awesome. I've been to some funerals. They're always sad as hell. I've lost some good people, some good friends. So if you're gonna join, just be squared away. Be freaking ready to rumble here and there, and just remain firm, fair, and consistent. You'll be fine. So if there's anything else you guys want to see related to the correction process, or some things that I misspoke on, or something you want to correct me on, just message me, because I have been out for about a year now. But remember, when I left, I was a sergeant recruiter, and I did all the testing. I did all the recruiting for whatever, so for the correctional spots. So at that time, I knew what was going on, and it really hasn't changed much. I still know people that work down there. If you're watching this video and something's changed, please correct me. Achleitner, if you're watching this and you heard me say something that's out of line, please message me and let me know, or holler at me and let me know, man. Yeah, and again, there's a lot of other areas to move in. You can move into background and investigations unit, but remember, you're not going to be making $100K a year in corrections. So if you're trying to make big money, probably not the route you want to go. I think a deputy warden position pays about $70K. And that's pretty much as high as you can go before you get into the director level spots, working under the director. The director makes about $180, but who's going to really get there? Who knows? That's an appointed position. Deputy directors make over 100, but you're not making large sums of money in corrections. There are officers that make good money because they do a lot of OT. They pick up hospital runs. They stay over. OT. There's always OT, always. So. Yeah, again, anything else you guys want to know, just hit me up. Thanks again for rocking with me. Keep subscribing to me. Keep it up. Keep the positivity coming. I really, really appreciate it. It's super humbling. It really is. I'm trying to get a couple more interviews you might see coming up, hopefully. So, I don't know. We'll see. Keep rocking with me. I know I'm rocking with you. You rock with me. And I will keep bringing you good content. I'm going to start talking about some things that have happened to me. So stay tuned, and thank you. Peace out.